Minecraft mob farms. We all love them, we all make them, we all use them. Now, using Create, you can actually make some pretty cool mob farms, as you can see. So using Create, we can actually power, for example, a witch farm, and then fully automate it. And yes, I'm on a creative world just to show you guys, and you still get all of the cool drops from the witches. So with this in mind, like, how many farms can I put this into? Because there's witch huts, there's skeleton spawners, there's regular spider spawners, there's cave spider spawners, there are blaze spawners, and there's even what I consider probably one of the rarest spawners in the game, a magma cube spawner. But now we're back in our normal regular world, and let's take all that knowledge of mob farms into the next level. You see, some farms can be made simply by using, like, for example, this witch hut and making something around it. Other farms, as you guys can see, need spawners, and this area right here has a witch hut, a spider spawner, a zombie spawner, and a skeleton spawner. Well, but you guys might say, well, if you need to load the spawner, you need to be like 16 blocks close to the spawner, and you can see that the witch hut is all the way up here, and those spawners are all the way down there in the world. Enters Create mod. Yes, our series is basically all around Create mod, and guess what? Create as a solution for us. That solution comes through, well, this, but not exactly this. As you guys may remember, I made this, which is my mining drill, which is really helpful to try and get some resources. And this one, if I right click with a wrench, well, I pick it up. That's very, very cool. But they actually removed this feature in what concerns spawners. So you're not able to put a spawner into this contraption and then pick the spawner up. But you can still push the spawner. So I guess you can see where this is going, right? So if all is correct, you just put a rail, you put a cart assembler, you put a cart, and hopefully it picks the spawner up. Exactly. Now, if I right click, you'll see it ain't gonna do this because a mystical force is binding this contraption to the world. So we're gonna have to push it. Well, I only have one rail here, but I know I have a bunch in this contraption, so I just need a place to, well, place it, and then I can get my rails out of there. But now I have made a railway going all the way up to the spawner, or from the spawner to the surface. And what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna see if this works, I'm not sure, instead of using a regular minecart, I'm gonna use a minecart with a furnace. I'm gonna toggle this on, and I'm gonna right click with a block of coal. Then I'm gonna push it. Did it not do the block of coal? No, it didn't, because I still have the block. But I'm right clicking it, so does it need a chest by any means? It may need a chest. It may need a chest. There's a chest right here. Never mind, it just does not accept a block of coal. So I gave him the chest, and I also gave him 9 pieces of coal. I just basically dismantled this, and well, there he goes. And it just arrived up here next to our witch hut. And now we have... Oh, I forgot the card assembler. Well, we're gonna get it later. We have a spawner. And we got spawner number 2. And boom, number 3. Oh well, we got our hands on 3 spawners, which means we can now actually make a farm. But I want to incorporate this bad boy as well, and I want to leave some space for a blaze and a magma cube spawner. The magma cube being the hardest one to find. The blaze, I already know where one is. So let's start off by designing this farm. Now I'm going to use a very simple design, which is basically just making a cube around this thing. And then I'm actually not going to use vanilla mechanicus for this one. I'm going to use create mechanics. Yes, because we do have create, and I believe it's majorly going to improve the efficiency of this farm. Oh yeah, by the way, let me show you what I did with the place, you know. After we made the train tracks, I redecorated a little bit. We're now up to a good amount of 447. This will be very much sped up as soon as I make a rotary speed controller and I speed up this area, because as you can see, we're only really using like 64%, so we can still bump this quite a little bit. And yeah, this is how it looks. I even decorated the entire area, or building I should say. It looks like a regular factory, you know. I didn't want to go too overboard with this one. Oh yeah, and of course we can wash, we can cook, we can hunt, and we can smelt stuff here. As you guys can see, just a couple of fans putting into water, a campfire, a soul campfire, and some lava. And we can just right click the items there and they will turn to whatever we need them to turn. And then I have here our mixer, our press, and a deployer, which is actually holding a honeycomb block. And this honeycomb block turned all of these copper, as you can see, into waxed, because if you put a honeycomb block in a deployer, it will never waste the honeycomb and it will wax anything you put underneath it. So that's a pretty good way of waxing those items. So if you guys take a look here, you can see how the farm is meant to work. The witches will be pushed by the fans, they will be sent down here, then some water pushes them into the center, and then we have a harm here that is just killing them away. But if I zoom out really quickly, you can probably see that if it is nighttime, well, I'm gonna have a lot of mobs here, and these guys actually do take up the mob cap, which means that this farm would not be running very efficiently if I have a bunch of mobs sitting idle here. Even though I'm AFK all the way up there and I'm using a cam account just to check on what's happening over here, but as you can see, I'm pretty high up. I'm at 240-ish something. Yep, there we go. My skin is not even loading, but there I am. So you can see I'm pretty high up, and this is like basically the best spot so it doesn't load a lot of caves, and it still doesn't, it's not far enough away that it will despawn the witches. And yes, there is mob drops over here, and I'm on the cam account. I've used this just to see and do some random things, so don't worry, this is not mine. I'm gonna toss all of these things away. This is just on the cam account. But yeah, as you can see, we do have some resources flowing in, which is pretty good, as long as with experience, which will be crucial. Now you can see that when there's no mobs, or basically any mobs around, well, there's a lot of witches that spawn. Now this is a regular diamond sword at the moment, so it's not even enchanted, and that's why they are not dying fast enough. So I need to make a pretty good sword with mending, sharpness 5, sweeping edge, and looting 3, and all of this would be very good to help with that, because we do get some experience out of here, which is amazing, plus some resources we can trade with villagers to gain some emeralds so we can get access to the books. Well, I decided to lit up the area using a lot of torches, and I believe the farm is going way too crazy right now because of how many witches are in here. Look at this. They're not even dying. Oh my god, I really need to get a better sword for that. That's just a regular diamond sword. I need a better one. Oh yeah, and these nuggets of experience, you can actually use them to repair your tools. For example, this diamond axe, I can just put it in the offhand, right click, and the experience will go to the axe, because the axe has mending, and the same for the pickaxe. So you can repair your tools, but I got a better way of repairing my tools. You'll see how. So to make sure that that little deployer actually does its job and kills the witches faster, we're gonna be enchanting some swords. Yes, and I'm gonna be using these bad boys, the gilded quartz sword added by Create Stuff, and they're made by using a quality tool handles, a gold, some polished rose quartz, and some iron sheets. All good and dandy. But what if I told you that we have infinite enchantments? So I went ahead and made a couple of sturdy sheets on my own using this quick setup with some powdered obsidian to just pump in lava into here, then put it onto the press to make sturdy sheets. Well, why do we need sturdy sheets? Well, I'm gonna make basically a book duplicator. Yes. For example, I just got myself a couple of these enchanting guides alongside a bunch of blaze burners. Now, for example, if we pick up this blaze burner and we pick up this enchanting guide, we can tell it to, well, learn Feather Falling 3. And now this book learned Feather Falling 3. This is actually, by the way, from Create Enchantment Industry. This is not from normal Create. This is an add-on, just FYI. So if you want to play with Create and you want to have this, you need this add-on, which is Create Enchantment Industry. Then what you do is you right click with this into the blaze burner. The only issue is that I believe it needs to be powered up, I think. So if it's burning and we shift right click onto him, there you go, he learns Feather Falling. What is this? How is this happening? What's going on here? Well, basically he is now capable of enchanting books, tools, whatever with Feather Falling 3. But as you can see, it consumes experience, which means we need, well, liquid experience, and we need to pump the liquid experience into him. Well, we can do this by using a drain. We can use this by draining or disenchanting the nuggets of experience, which we are getting from the witch farm. So I guess you can see where this is going, right? But let me also show you like how this works before we move on. So if I right click or shift right click, it learns the Feather Falling enchantment. It needs experience. Well, how does it get experience? We can give it the nuggets of experience later, but it needs to be liquid experience. And you use the disenchanter on basically enchanted stuff that you may have, and it will take the experience from it, and then it will, well, turn it into liquid experience, which you can then store in a tank, or you can put it into the blaze enchanter. You can also just hop onto here, and as you can see, it drained all of my 17 levels of experience, which then I can just hopefully feed onto him. It takes a little bit, it's weird. It may need to be from below. I'm not sure. Yep, it needed to be from below. And you see, he's now all fired up and ready to go with all of these things. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna give him one book of Feather Falling. Well, that's not the proper way of doing it. So with this setup right here, I can go ahead and put these soul speed boots here, and you'll see the blaze picks it up, and then it will enchant it with Feather Falling 3, which is pretty cool. There we go. And now we have Feather Falling 3, and this is infinite. It will always know that enchantment, and it only needs experience to do this. But of course, this can be abused, and we will. But before abusing it, there's actually a better way of doing this. You see, we can get another Feather Falling 3 book and then put it together and make a Feather Falling 4. Now, how do we get another Feather Falling 3 book? Well, that comes with what I believe is the printer or imprinter, or what is it called? The printer. Yes, this bad boy right here. So we have now the printer, and what does the printer do? Well, it's going to print enchantments, and where it's going to print? On a book. So we can just get this book and put it right over there. Now this needs two things. The first being an enchanted book, the one that you want to copy. So I'm going to use the Sweeping Edge book, and then of course it needs experience. So I'm just gonna jump on top of here. It takes 62 experience. I've just made 79 millibuckets, so I'm just gonna pour it into there, and you just saw it. It's now just printing the book. Boom, there we go. Now we get this Sweeping Edge book, and we got another Sweeping Edge book, and then we put this together in an anvil, and we have Sweeping Edge 3. So by using all we just learned, I made this sword with Unbreaking 3, Sweeping Edge, and Mending. So hopefully it will actually repair itself. I'm not so sure it will, because it turns the experience into something else, into those nuggets of experience. So I guess we do have to test it a little bit, because if it breaks, I need to make, well, basically do a bunch of these and keep them ready at the witch hut, or else they'll just be destroyed and the farm will immediately break. Because right now this thing is not handling well with the amount of mobs that it comes through. That's why I made sweeping edge a priority, because all the witches just cloggle the area. There's so many that the sword cannot hit the same one again and again when there's multiple of them. So the sweeping edge would hopefully help the issue, and the next step would be get a villager to give me the sharpness book so I can do that thing. And I also, even though I use the books themselves, I did store enchantments. So I got sweeping edge, I got mending, and I got unbreaking, and I got a few extra ones that I'm getting ready so I can make other items or other enchantments. I also took the opportunity to put mending in all my items just in case I didn't have it. So now I'm gonna AFK a little bit for more nuggets of experience, because I made this setup over here to get some resources from this chest into like the proper area, and then from this drawer we can then take the nuggets of experience out for ourselves or for something we'll be cooking in just a second. And so as the night falls, we can see I made something up here. Yes, this will be our mob farms, and right now I have all the 3 spawners that I originally had, and if I stand right here in the middle, we can see all of them are activated. So I only need to do down here the killing chambers for all of them, and then a storage room for the drops. And I also need to do something really cool. You know, I need to turn all of those experience nuggets into liquid experience. And I showed you, you can just use those drains and the disenchanter and all those things. And then I'm gonna store it all in the fluid tank, which would then make it easier for me to transport it, well, wherever I need to take it. And this is actually kind of far away. Can I load the area? Okay, thank you. This is kind of far away from my main area. You can see that I'm here on top of this mountain, and the main area is here at the moment. Well, I do have the waystone to go back and forth, but the items and the experience, they don't. Enter create trains. Yes, we're gonna be using the create trains to transport items and experience from one place to the other. And there's also a really cool addition for one of the add-ons that we have here, which is from Create Chunk Loading, which adds a chunk loader. Now, these chunk loaders are not normal chunk loaders. They only work, from what I read, they only work either on a train or a contraption. I'll be using them on trains. I know they work for sure on trains, and this keeps the train always loaded, and that's very, very good, because as you can see, there's a very big distance that the train needs to travel, and it would take, well, a very long while to do so. So if it's always loaded, then it's going to be a lot better, because if it wasn't always loaded, then it would just like stop around here ish. So because I'm not loading these chunks. So yeah, this is gonna take some time to link everything together, but we're getting there. So as a quick example, you can see what is going to happen here. So the mob is going to drop there, the sword is going to smack him, and after a while, of course, it's going to kill him. And then the items will be sent into, well, right now into this chest, but then hopefully I'm going to try and make a sorting system here, or a drawer room. I do need to figure out a better way for the spiders, because those are probably gonna be a little bit complicated to manage, and I'll probably need some fans and stuff to deal with them better. So we can just remove the torches, and then we can pick them up down below, and you can see the zombies already start spawning in, which is amazing. And then they should start falling. Yes, perfect. I got scared there. And then sword would hit them. Oh, what's going on with the sword? Okay, right now it's dumping the items. Oh, there we go. I think it has a little bit of delay whenever it's thinking and trying to do stuff, but it's okay. We got it working. That's what matters. And now I'm gonna have to go and do this for the skeleton part and try and come up with a better solution for the spiders, because the problem with the spiders is that they would climb up here As you can see, the zombies stay in place and wait for, well, the sword, basically. The skeletons will always do the same, so they'll just sit there and they'll eventually die. The problem with the spiders is that they will try and climb up the walls and get out of there. So that's going to be a little bit trickier. Probably can't do this design. Again, I need to come up with something else. Well, it's just like I thought. The spiders ain't gonna do nothing there. I need to come up with a better solution so I can fix that thing over there. The zombies are working perfectly fine, and the skeletons are also working perfectly fine. Now, I even have a pretty good sword for the spiders. I just need them to come down, because this sword is Bane of Arthropods. So, oh, did I get one? Oh, I get one. Yeah, but as you can see, they just go back up. So I need something that would help me get them stuck here. I really don't know what though. I need something that would stop them from trying to climb up. Of course I cannot use oh my god. Oh yeah, because they killed themselves. They were fighting. They were fighting here. Yeah, because and for example, that's really not great. Like if she just stays there, that's not great at all. And so guys, this is gonna be the end of the video as I AFK here for some experience, for some resources, and then we'll go ahead and completely renovate this area with, well, first of all, better power, and then some easier access, because right now I either climb a dirt pillar or I just rock it in. So next episode we're gonna be working with tons and tons of create stuff. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't, and see ya in the next one. Bye.